Prominent Vancouver businessman Marcello Leone became extremely curious when his wife got excited about a plant-based mineral-infused water. When he started drinking Trace, he became a believer. Marcello is here today to talk to us about taking over the company and what has become this black water phenomenon. Welcome to Biz One-on-One.
Thanks, Randy. Great.
Black water.
Black water.
What is it?
Wow. It's the world's first plant-based beverage, and it's infused with 10 essential trace minerals. And when the trace minerals are infused into the pristine spring water, it turns the water naturally dark and black. And so in 2011, I was walking through my kitchen and I saw my wife drinking this dark product, and she was telling me about this plant-based beverage, black water, at the time. And I was quite intrigued by what she told me the benefits were to her as a natural revitalizer and light cleanse. And I didn't immediately try the product, but my body, I would get walking pneumonia a couple of times a year, and I would get runner's knee. So about a week later, my wife asked me to try the product, and I started to notice the effects on me quite immediately. And so I invested in the company, and then that was in 2011. In 2012, I ended up purchasing the company, and we started the process with Health Canada to take this product that we found so interesting and try to make it a commercialized product that we could get in the bottled beverage section. And so in September 2016, we got Health Canada compliance, and the journey has been a 5-year journey and a long journey that we're about to go on. So that's how it all started. Thank my wife for that.
Everybody wants to be healthier, but there's a bajillion health products out there. This is just drinking this instead of water, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're infusing it with minerals, and it allows us to replenish your system with 10 essential trace minerals that we're not getting through our normal food source. But more importantly, water compared to, we're more than water, and having the infusion of minerals, we needed to also get Health Canada compliance. So we are the world's first Health Canada plant-based beverage in the world that's a natural revitalizer. Because it's dark with the minerals, it acts as an antioxidant for you. It has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 fat. It has a natural alkaline pH level at almost 9. So it does for your body what is required for your body.
And we're not getting the minerals from our food sources for a variety of reasons. But I want to talk about the business now.
Sure.
So you took over this company that was struggling and turned it into a very successful, exciting business. You're rolling out across the country with Trace in major stores. And there's an opportunity for the average person to invest in this company. And you're not a public company.
No, we're a private company, and we have shareholders. So, when I started the journey 5.5 years ago, not only did we look at the importance of innovative wellness of this product, but we also looked at how do we have a water source that when the consumer drinks our product, the water tastes like the finest, purest, pristine spring water in the world. And BC has some of that incredible, pristine spring water. So not only did we end up developing the product, having to go through compliance with Health Canada for almost 4 years and getting Health Canada compliance approved, but we also wanted to make sure that we secured the water source. We wanted to make sure that we also secured the bottling facility for us to bottle out of Canada as well, so that we could have a true, pure Canadian-based product. So that requires a certain amount of capital. And when you're building a business and a foundation of a business, before you even get to retail and you grow that brand, you really have to set the foundation of the business. And that costs a tremendous amount of capital at times. And so we're a private business. We have private shareholders as well. So this allows people to have a piece of the company, spread the word about the benefit of this innovative wellness and this new drink, Trace. And so we're excited about that.
So speaking of investors, you have two very prominent professional athletes, one from the NBA, one from the NFL, who are not only endorsing and are excited about the product, but they've actually decided to invest capital in the company. And I've got a little
Absolutely.
surprise for you, Marcello. We've got both of them lined up via satellite to say hello.
Excellent.
So first of all, let's go to Toronto. Damari Carroll, former starter with the Toronto Raptors. Damari, tell us why you're so excited about Trace.
What I love about Trace is the smooth taste of Trace and how it gives me energy and revitalizes me. And really, it's a healthy drink. You know, I'm all about healthy lifestyle and healthy living. And I feel like you can't go no wrong with Trace.
That's fantastic. So exciting to have Damari Carroll, like huge name.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Just
very
amazing.
exciting. And obviously very turned on about the product, as is Justin Bethel, starting defensive corner with my Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely.
That's my NFL team.
Absolutely.
And Justin, you're there in Phoenix. Welcome to Biz One-on-One. What's your take on Trace, and why are you excited?
I believe in what the product is going to do. Obviously, as an athlete, you know, we want to try and put the best things we can in our body to fuel our body in any ways possible. And I kind of, you know, I'm really interested to see where this company goes. And I have, like, really high expectations for it, so I'm excited to just see where it goes, and I want to be a part of it.
So here we have two, you know, relatively famous, you know, an NBA player and an NFL player, both finding out about this company in Vancouver and getting so excited about the product that they asked to invest. So, and now people anywhere in Canada can invest in the company.
Our company's called Natura Group Investments.
And that's going to load up on Front Funder. By the time you're watching this program, you may go to frontfunder.com and take a look and have an opportunity to get in business with this dynamic guy, Marcello Leone.
Yeah, we're
Great to
excited.
have you
We're
on the
really
show.
excited. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mark.
Randy. Thank you very much.
Really great.
Thank you.
Yo, it's Damari Carroll from the Brooklyn Nets. I want to give a shout out to Trace, everybody over there. Keep working, keep doing everything you're doing, and keep making this fabulous product.
Everybody, go get you some Trace water now. It's the best thing out for your body. It's going to refill you and have you feeling great. Go get some Trace water.
Meet Andre. He's the founder of a new craft brewery. Andre has had early success with his company, but now he needs investors to help him grow his business and take it to the next level. This is where Front Funder comes in. You see, at Front Funder, we approach investing differently. We connect Andre to people like you and Mike, a craft beer enthusiast. By investing in Andre's company, Mike can continue to enjoy his craft beer while owning a piece of his favorite brewery. Then there's Kathy. She's a professional investor looking to diversify her portfolio. She also sees the potential for financial return in Andre's company. So Kathy invests through Front Funder. Front Funder enables you to support businesses you believe in. We screen all of our companies and perform an in-depth review, helping you make an informed investment decision. We make online investing simple and accessible to everyone. Select your favorite company, pay for your shares, and become an owner. It's that simple. An online investment experience from start to finish.
You think you know The Brick? Sure, everyone knows The Brick is the place for the guaranteed lowest prices on home furnishings. But do you know how we do it? Buying power, that's how. The Brick has over 200 locations across Canada, with over 7 million square feet of showrooms. That means we buy a lot of stuff from all over the world. And the more we buy, the more you save. The Brick. Saving you more. That's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Every time I come in, Chris always follows up with me, always asks me how my service was, if there's anything that they could have done better. He makes me feel really important.
You're not going to get treated better. The work done was awesome, but I thought that the personal touch and the service, Chris was always top-notch.
We've met new employees, and if I go back the next time, they know who we are. Whenever I take our cars in, I feel like I'm someone special. They treat me extremely well.
5 realtors compete for one listing.
I want this listing.
Oh, I want the listing. I want every listing. I would love to have this listing.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, of course I want this listing. I want all the listings.
5 realtors compete for one listing in seller's market.
Our next guest, Matt Anderson, grew up on a farm without internet access. So, of course, that's the perfect upbringing for an entrepreneur whose new company, Zazzu, is poised to revolutionize cyberspace. Big statement. Matt's going to tell us how this humble upbringing developed a fascination with the internet and led him to start his first company at 15 years old, essentially in his pajamas in his bedroom, and how it led Matt to found Zazzu. He's also going to share with us what's wrong with the internet today and what it's going to look like in the future. That is a big statement that you're going to revolutionize the internet. What do you mean by that?
Well, the current internet funnels everything upwards. And by 2020, I don't think the internet will look exactly like it does today. I mean, consumers might have a few smart products in their homes, but when we get to the time when we have 100 smart products, it's not going to be likely that we have 100 different apps to control all of them. And the data flowing upstream for IoT products, Internet of Things products, is a constant stream of data. It's not static data like a Facebook post that you can store on a hard drive. So I really think that within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have to revolutionize the way that we process data. And I think that what we're going to do with Zazzu is we're going to be able to process that data close to where the data is actually created, closer to the end user within the last mile of the internet. And I think what that'll do is it'll alleviate a lot of the upstream networks. Instead of bringing an entire mountain of data all the way upstream to sift through it for the gold, I think that we're only going to send the gold upstream is what Zazzu is aiming to do.
Okay, so now you've got me confused with a few things that you've said, but let's start with the Internet of Things.
Right.
Okay, this is a buzzword that's been around for a while. What does that mean?
So the Internet of Things, or the Internet of Everything, is yet another marketing term, just like the cloud. The cloud isn't really a cloud; it's just a bunch of interconnected networks, the internet. Now, the Internet of Things is, at the moment, it is a buzzword, but it's already here. We're already in the Internet of Things. But the products themselves aren't very smart yet. They will be smart when they start communicating with each other. And the problem that we're seeing right now with the internet is that they all have their own signals up to central servers. Now, it's the same principle, is that if we're sitting right next to each other and I were to send you an email,
right?
Guess what? The email goes
all over.
It goes thousands of miles away and then comes all the way back to you, even though we're sitting 2 feet away from each other. Now, that is not an intelligent topology for the internet. There needs to be some sort of decentralization for the servers and the data centers so that we can process that closer to where you and I are, which will offload the upstream networks. And if we do that, if we bring it closer to the end user, then we can put it onto a common platform so that all of our smart products that are in our home or around us are all operating on a common platform.
So theoretically, they'd all be connected to each other, but they're not going out into the internet, which also deals with a lot of the concerns about the security of our data, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So I take it that's what Zazzu is all about. So tell us about how you started the company.
So it started out of a small research lab in southern Alberta, and we began with just researching internet topology. That was our main interest.
Internet
topology.
Topology.
So the way that it's structured, how does it look like? And right now, it's basically, you have all of the end users, the internet users like me and you, and all of our data flows up. So if you use cloud storage, what you're doing is you're essentially just, instead of storing that file on your computer, you're just storing it on a massive data center right next to everybody else's files. And the only convenience of that is that you can access it from anywhere just by logging into your account.
Right, which is a big convenience.
It's a big convenience. So what Zazzu is doing is we're putting smart hardware in your home, smart hardware that we've invented out of our lab, that gives you all of the benefits of the cloud with more privacy and security than a private VPN server. It's essentially giving every user a tiny piece of the internet so that all of the data that you create doesn't have to flow upstream.
So that sounds like, it almost sounds like you're going completely counterintuitive to all the talk about the cloud. which now I get what you mean by saying you're going to revolutionize the internet.
It's almost turning everything on its head. And if we do it properly, not only will you not need to use your cloud service, eventually you may not need to use your ISP. Now, the reason, going back to why is it so insecure, well, everybody's racing to get venture capital, or racing to get funding, or racing to design the next new cool IoT product. And what they're completely overlooking is the security of it. They're putting microprocessors in them that don't have enough power to generate cryptographic keys necessary for encryption, which means that if you're in a coffee shop watching your baby monitor from your home, somebody can sniff into that signal, which means they can intercept that
quite
signal.
easily, right?
Quite easily, especially on open Wi-Fi, and essentially watch your baby sleep. And that is, I think, what's starting to terrify people.
So the company's called Zazzu. What's the next step for Zazzu?
So we're currently raising funding. We are, well on our way. We're testing it. We're seeing how people like it, and what will it do for the consumer. The reason that I like Zazzu so much, it's very, very simple. Plug it into your home and your home network, and it has a value for everybody. It has a value for Netflix, YouTube, the ones that are trying to get the content closer to the user. It has a value proposition for data brokers, all of the companies that are trying to process the data, these central data centers. And it has a value for the user and the ISP. It lets the ISP transcend network borders. And it lets the user have that privacy and security that they're paying for with their internet service. It gives them all the benefits of the cloud with more privacy and security than a private VPN server.
Well, what's super cool about this, I just met a guy in LA who exited his first company at age 15, and he's invested in 40 companies since 2010. And he said to me, this year, I'm only doing hardware deals. So you're going to get an introduction.
Oh, there we go. That would be perfect.
Matt from Zazzu, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Sounds fantastic. Can't wait to follow along this story.
Perfect.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Realtors compete for one listing.
I want this listing.
Oh, I want the listing. I want every listing. I would love to have this listing.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, of course I want this listing. I want all the listings.
The pressure is on. There's only one winner.
I'm the best man to sell this house.
I'm the best woman for the job.
I'm the best of the bunch.
I'm very good at real estate.
I want to win this whole competition because I'm the best.
5 realtors compete for one listing in Seller's Market, a new kind of real estate show.
Every time I come in, Chris always follows up with me, always asks me how my service was, if there's anything that they could have done better. He makes me feel really important.
You're not going to get treated better. The work done was awesome, but I thought that the personal touch and the service, Chris was always top-notch.
We've met new employees, and if I go back the next time, they know who we are. Whenever I take our cars in, I feel like I'm someone special. They treat me extremely well.
Laurie Handlers of Butterfly Workshops is a sex and happiness coach. That's right, folks. We're going to talk about sex right here on Biz One-on-One. We're going to learn about the business of sex education and how getting out of our own heads and into our bodies improves not just our sex lives, but our entire life, body, mind, and spirit. Wow. Welcome to Biz One-on-One.
Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure to be here.
A sex and happiness coach, and you've got your sex and happiness book.
Right.
The Tantric Laws of Intimacy. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And I also have a radio show that's named Sex and Happiness. So I woke up one day and I went, I'm a sex and happiness coach. Why should I say that I'm something else? People didn't understand tantric or Tantra. They didn't, when I said I was a Tantra teacher, they were like, what's that? And it was too hard to explain that. But when I say I'm a sex and happiness coach, they go, oh, how great is that?
So you're from New York, right?
Originally, yeah.
And you live in Phoenix now.
Right.
You know, Americans are a little bit uptight about sex. I think even more so than Canadians, but definitely more so than Europeans.
Way.
And how does that impact, like this is a show about business and entrepreneurship, and you are an entrepreneur.
I've
You have
been an
your
entrepreneur
book.
my whole life.
Yeah, so talk to me about that.
About how business winds its way into sex, or sex winds its way into business.
It seems to me
'Cause it's
like
both.
sex winds its way everywhere. We just don't want to talk about it.
That's right. Okay, so first of all, it's the oldest business on the planet, let's just say. I'm not of that business. I'm not a prostitute or a surrogate. I don't have sex with people that are my clients. I teach classes about sex, and then they go home and they use the sex that I teach them with their partners, or they try to find a partner, and they try to get better at feeling comfortable in their body. So for the most part, people are divided. You know, there was a group called Talking Heads.
Yeah.
That was a very appropriate
We're dating
name.
ourselves a little bit there.
Well,
Yeah.
but still, people are talking heads because we were taught that anything below here, or at least below the waist, was sinful.
Right.
And this is the only thing that we value. So if we only value our head, we're stuck in the left brain. We're stuck in strategy. We're stuck in analysis. We're stuck in understanding. And there's no way to just feel. So people need to learn how to feel. They need to learn what their senses are. They need to learn sensation. They need to learn to become sensual. And my job will never end, let's just say. I'll never be out of clients. I'll never be out of students, especially in the United States.
So tell us about your sex and happiness business. What's it all about?
Well, it's about empowering people to feel themselves fully, connecting the dots between body, mind, and spirit. I also say that I connect people between the boardroom and the bedroom. So if somebody's really successful in the boardroom, chances are they have sexual prowess. They kind of know who they are, empowered. They feel, now, I can't say if they're great lovers, but it would seem that people who have prowess in the boardroom have a little something going on that maybe other people don't have.
Do you find that company executives are nervous about the idea of spending the corporate dollar on a sex coach?
Yeah, well, they don't that way. I do corporate consulting, and when I do corporate consulting, I don't say to them I'm bringing a sex program in. I say I'm bringing a program that connects body, mind, and spirit and gets people aligned. Now, some of that comes from my previous career, where I was in transformational technologies, and I was also government contracting and taking people off welfare rolls in the United States. So I know how to do transformation with people, but I add the body in because I don't want just talking heads. I don't want people analyzing everything. I want them to feel something. And what happens when I go into a company and consult is that people get aligned and they get to see whether they're at the right place, in the right job, at the right company. And a lot of times people just resign because they realize that they're not in alignment with the company, and they can feel that all the way through.
So do sexual problems break up relationships and cause other problems in the relationship, or is it often a symptom of problems in the relationship? I guess it's both.
Yeah, it's both and. Like sex and money are related. Sex, money, and power are related. They all come from the lower chakras, the lower parts of the body. In Sanskrit, there's the word chakras, and those are the main energy centers of the body. And anything below the belly are the lower three, those that are, they say lower, and then that's supposed to mean something. And that's where money, sex, and power comes from, fire in the belly. And the chakra number 1, which is where we sit, that has to do with survival, family of origin, safety and security. We're living in a really unsafe time, so a lot of people are very tight. And that has to also do with spending. You've heard all those, I'm not going to say all the words on your show, but you've heard all this referring to people who don't spend money. And so that comes from there, and that's a pleasure center. And then the sex area is the energies of creation. So we all got here by two people coming together and creating, but we create everything with that energy. And Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, the most widely read business book there ever was, in chapter 11 talks about those families that knew about sexual energy and about cultivating sexual energy. And before the book was published, they made him take their names out.
Right.
The Carnegies, the Fords, the Rockefellers, and so on, the DuPonts. They all knew about, those men knew about sexual energy.
And if you don't know about sexual energy, you might be going to chapter 11.
That's right.
That's a little U.S. reference there.
That's right. You might be going bankrupt.
Laurie Handlers, wow. Sex and Happiness, the Tantric Laws of Intimacy. Thank you for joining us on Biz 101. I'm fascinated.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Real pleasure.
Realtors compete for one listing.
I want this listing.
Oh, I want the listing. I want every listing. I would love to have this listing.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, of course I want this listing. I want all the listings.
The pressure is on. There's only one winner.
I'm the best man to sell this house.
I'm the best woman for the job.
I'm the best of the bunch.
I'm very good at real estate.
I want to win this whole competition because I'm the best.
5 realtors compete for one listing in Sellers Market, a new kind of real estate show.
Want help from someone who cares? PDC Chartered Accountants, the approachable guys who care about you and your business.